Early morning in Vellora. The village rests under soft golden light. Mist drifts low between rooftops. Church bells echo faintly in the distance. The morning arrived gently, as if the world itself was careful not to disturb what had shifted overnight. Vellora breathed slowly. No rush, no urgency, just light, finding its way back into familiar places. Some decisions echo loudly, others settle quietly, like dust after a long journey. This morning belonged to the quiet kind. Slow push-in toward Arman's guesthouse window. Curtains sway softly with the breeze. Arman woke before the bells. Not because of restlessness, but because something inside him had finally gone still. For months, sleep had been a negotiation. Memories on one side, questions on the other. This morning, there were no arguments left to settle. Arman sits on the edge of the bed, feet on the floor, hands resting loosely on his knees. He didn't reach for his camera, didn't check the time. Instead, he listened. The wind brushed past the open window, not whispering this time, just present. Close up on Arman's face as he exhales slowly, eyes closed. For the first time since his brother disappeared, Arman wasn't searching. Not forward, not backward. He was here. Cut to Lina's room. Soft morning light spills across a wooden desk where her journal lies open. Across the village, Lina woke with the same stillness. Her dreams had been quiet. No unfinished sentences, no sudden awakenings. Just a sense of arrival. Over-the-shoulder shot of Lina standing by the window, looking out toward the hills. For so long she had lived between chapters, always preparing to leave the page unfinished. This morning she didn't feel the urge to close the book. Close up on Lina's hand as she writes slowly in her journal. Some places don't ask you to stay, she wrote. They simply make leaving impossible. Arman and Lina exit their separate guesthouses from opposite sides of the same street, unaware of each other yet. They stepped into the same morning, the same air, the same unspoken understanding. But neither rushed, because some truths don't need to be chased. They meet you when you're finally ready to walk at the same pace. Their paths will cross again, this time with clarity, not questions. A quiet stone path near the edge of the village. Morning light filters through tall trees. The wind moves leaves softly across the ground. Some conversations wait patiently. They don't push. They don't demand. They arrive when both hearts are finally ready to be heard. Arman walks slowly along the path, hands in his jacket pockets, eyes scanning the ground. Arman hadn't planned where his feet were taking him, but somehow they always led him here, to the spaces between answers. Lina approaches from the other end of the path, holding her journal close to her chest. Lina walked as if she already knew what she would say. Not because she had rehearsed the words, but because she no longer needed armor. They notice each other and slow to a stop several steps apart. They didn't smile at first, didn't rush forward. Some moments deserve stillness. Lina's face, calm, open, vulnerable. I kept thinking if I said the wrong thing this place would disappear. Arman listening, not guarded, not distant. I was afraid if I said the right thing, I'd have nowhere left to hide. The words landed gently. No sharp edges, no defenses, just truth finally spoken aloud. Lina exhales and gives a small, honest smile. Lina, I've spent years leaving before I could be left. Arman, I stayed longer than I should have, waiting for someone who was already gone. The wind moved through the trees, not interrupting, listening. They stood in the space where past and future touched. And for once, neither was pulling them away. Lina's hand extending slightly, not reaching, just open. Lina, I don't know what happens next. Arman's hand moving to meet hers, slowly. Arman, neither do I. Beat. But I know where I don't want to run from anymore. Their hands finally meet. Not gripping, just resting together. It wasn't a promise. It was something braver. Presence. They begin walking side by side down the path. They didn't talk as they walked. They didn't need to. For the first time, the silence wasn't empty. It was shared. The village reacts, and a final truth about Vellora surfaces. The village square of Vellora in late morning. Market stalls, stone wells, old trees. Life moving as usual but with quiet attention. Villages are not made of stone and wood alone. They are made of memory. And Vellora had been watching. Elderly shopkeeper pausing mid-task, glancing toward the road leading into the village. They noticed when footsteps sounded different. When silences returned. Fuller than before. A group of children playing near the fountain. One child looks up and smiles knowingly. Children always knew first. They listened without suspicion. Arman and Lina enter the village together from the far road, walking side by side. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't need to. Vellora had already felt the shift. Lina, as she notices villagers watching, not judging, just acknowledging. There were no whispers, only nods, as if the village had been waiting for honesty more than explanation. Arman meeting the gaze of a familiar villager. A subtle, respectful exchange. Some stories don't need telling. They are recognized. The village well. Water reflecting sunlight as Lina pauses beside it. The well had been there longer than memory. People said it reflected not faces, but truth. Lina looking into the water. Her reflection slightly distorted. Lina quietly. Do you think places remember people? Arman thoughtful, grounded. Arman. I think they remember who we were when we were honest. The wind lifted again. Gentler now. An older woman approaching them. Calm, familiar, unhurried. Older woman. You stayed longer this time. Arman and Lina listening, respectful. Older woman, smiling softly. Vellora only keeps those who stop running. No judgment. No warning. Just truth spoken gently. Lina as emotion flickers, then steadies. For the first time, Lina didn't feel like a visitor. She felt present. The older woman walks away, blending into village life. Vellora did not demand promises. It only offered reflection. Arman and Lina standing together in the square. Still, grounded, seen. Some places don't trap you. They ask you one question. Who are you? When you stop pretending. Acceptance without explanation. A hidden truth about Vellora's past, and why it brings people like them together. Interior of an old guesthouse room. Wooden floors, soft daylight filtering through lace curtains. Dust floating in the air. The room Arman has been staying in, familiar yet changed. Some discoveries don't arrive loudly. They wait, beneath what we think we already know. Arman kneeling, adjusting a loose floorboard near the window. He hadn't planned to find anything. He was only fixing what time had loosened. The floorboard lifting, revealing a folded cloth beneath. But Vellora rarely offered accidents. Lina enters the room quietly, sensing something different. Lina. What is it? Arman unfolds the cloth, revealing a weathered hand-drawn map. The map was old. Not ancient but intentional. Drawn by someone who expected to return. Lina as she studies the markings. Lina softly. These paths, they're not tourist trails. A symbol marked near the mountains. A familiar sign. Arman's breath caught. He had seen that symbol before. Arman's brother sketching the same symbol in a notebook years ago. Not in a book. Not in a story. But in his brother's hand. Arman's eyes filling with realization. Arman whispering. He was here. Arman and Lina sitting on the floor, map between them. Not lost. Not wandering. His brother had followed something. Lina placing her hand gently over Arman's. Lina. He wasn't running away. The map as wind from the open window causes it to flutter. The wind moved again, as if agreeing. Arman folding the map carefully. Arman. Then I need to follow it. Lina steady certain. Lina. Then you won't do it alone. Some truths ask for courage. Others ask for company. The room, quiet but no longer empty. What was hidden beneath the floor had opened a path forward, following the map into the mountains and into truth. Early morning light spills over Vellora's rooftops, the town slowly waking. Vellora at dawn, mist drifting between rooftops, mountains watching from afar. Morning did not arrive with answers, only with light. Arman and Lina stepping out of the guest house, backpacks prepared. Some journeys don't need permission. They only need willingness. Arman tightening the strap of his bag. Steady hands now. For the first time in years, uncertainty didn't weaken him. It sharpened him. Lina's perspective as Arman looks toward the mountain trail. Lina. You don't have to be sure. Lina joins him, standing side by side. Lina continuing. You just have to keep going. Arman's face. A small, genuine smile. Arman. I think. I already am. The folded map pulled from Arman's bag. The map did not promise safety. Only direction. The map opened on a stone ledge, the mountain path clearly marked. And sometimes direction is enough. The trail beginning just beyond the town. Vellora did not try to stop them. Never did. Arman hesitating. One last look back at the town. Leaving isn't always about distance. Sometimes it's about release. Lina notices his pause. Lina soft. Say goodbye if you need to. Arman turns forward again instead. Arman. I already did. They begin walking the trail together. Some goodbyes happen quietly. Without words. Lina glancing at Arman, a quiet smile forming. And some beginnings don't announce themselves at all. Their figures growing smaller as the path curves upward. The path had been chosen. Now it would answer. The journey begins. Challenges and signs ahead. The mountain trail narrows. Trees grow taller. Light dims slightly. The higher they climbed, the quieter the world became. Arman and Lina walk deeper into the trees. Even the birds seem to be listening. Lina's boots brushing against loose gravel. Every step mattered now. A sudden gust of wind shakes the branches above them. Wind rushing sharply through leaves. Lina low. Did you feel that? Arman's face, alert, scanning the surroundings. Arman. The wind changed. Leaves spiraling unnaturally across the path. In Vellora, the wind was never random. Lina's view, the path ahead splits briefly. Lina. This wasn't on the map. Arman unfolds the map again. Confusion visible. The map showed certainty. Reality offered questions. They exchange a quiet, concerned look. Fear did not arrive loudly. It arrived carefully. Lina tightening the strap of her bag. Lina. Which way feels right? Arman closing his eyes briefly, listening. Logic paused. Instinct spoke. Arman points toward the narrower, steeper path. Arman. That one. Lina hesitating, then nodding. Trust is not blind. Chooses. They step onto the steeper path together. The wind followed them. Not to guide, but to test. Dark clouds drifting over the forest canopy above. And somewhere ahead something was waiting. A warning sign, an obstacle, or a hidden watcher. The forest thickens. Light filters unevenly. Sound fades except for wind. The narrow trail disappearing into dense trees ahead. The path no longer felt like a path. Felt like a passage. Arman and Lina walk cautiously, slower now. Every step forward carried the weight of something unseen. Lina's hand brushing against leaves, then stopping suddenly. Lina whisper. Arman. Arman stops instantly, raising a hand. Fear did not rush them. Settled. A small wooden carving tied to a tree branch, barely visible. Someone had been here. Recently. Arman's eyes narrowing as he studies the symbol. Arman low. This mark, it's not natural. Lina's perspective. Deeper forest beyond the symbol. Warnings rarely shout. They wait to be noticed. Lina's face. Fear mixed with resolve. Lina. Should we turn back? Arman looks at Lina, then at the forest ahead. Turning back would be safer. But safety was no longer the point. Arman's hand gripping the strap of his bag. Arman. If someone doesn't want us here, then we're close. Disturbed soil beside the trail. Footprints partially hidden. They weren't alone. They never had been. Lina steps closer to Arman. Lina. Then we don't split. No matter what. Arman nodding once. Fear weakens when it is shared. The wind intensifies. Branches creaking loudly. Sudden strong wind, branches creaking. The wind returned, not as a guide, but as a warning. Silhouette of a figure partially obscured behind trees. Barely visible. They felt the presence before they saw it. And whatever waited ahead was watching. Confrontation, revelation, or the truth about who is following them. The forest falls unnaturally quiet. Even the wind pauses. Arman and Lina frozen mid-step, listening. Silence arrived without warning. And silence in places like this meant one thing. Lina's face as she turned slowly toward the trees. Lina whisper. We're not alone. Arman steps slightly in front of Lina. Instinct moved faster than thought. Branches part gently, not forced. Slow footsteps on leaves. An older man steps into view, calm, weathered, carrying no weapon. He did not hide. He did not rush. And that made him far more unsettling. The stranger's face, knowing eyes. Stranger. You've been asking the wrong questions. In the right place. Lina grips Arman's sleeve. Fear sharpened into awareness. Arman controlled but firm. Arman. Who are you? The stranger glances toward Vellora's direction. Stranger. Someone who knows what Vellora hides. And what it takes. The same wooden symbol seen earlier, now visible on the stranger's necklace. The warning had a face now. Lina. You were following us. The stranger nods once, unapologetic. Stranger. To protect the truth. Not you. Wind returned suddenly, trees swaying. The wind returned, restless, impatient. Arman as he asks the question that matters. Arman. What happens if we don't stop? The stranger steps back into shadow. Stranger. Then Vellora will demand its price. Arman and Lina alone again. Forest closing around them. Some truths protect. Others test how much you're willing to lose. Cliffhanger. The Guardian revealed. The cost named but not explained. Choice, sacrifice, and the final truth of Vellora.